This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, I just had a great experience. Walked in the door, and I was kind of in an okay mood, not bad, not good, or whatever. Now I'm in a great mood because I got to attack a couple people off the air. So now I'm in a much better mood than I was when I got here.
Yeah, that always is like I think, do you remember the commercials growing up as like part of a balanced breakfast?
Yep.
It was like cereal, toast, eggs, ripping somebody off air.
Yep.
All part of a balanced breakfast.
And I could, we could go from management to, the political system. We could go the 3 T's of Josh Arnold, we can get that going again.
Get the dump button ready.
He's become a really great friend of mine. He's just a great guy. He's mentally ill. There's no question of it. I mean, can you even doubt that the guy's mentally ill? Come on.
No, but in like the best way possible.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's a good way to put it. You're crazy in a really good way. Can you be that? Can that happen?
Like if I introduced him to I'd be like, one of my friends, I'd be like, all right, just so you're aware, something might come out of his mouth that you're like, where the hell did that come from?
You know what opened him up was Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys, which was a real band, but that opened him wide up. He realized that he could say and do whatever he wanted on this show. So he started doing it. I got to call him back. I got a call from him last night. I saw that this morning. I was running around like a madman last night. But he's a piece of work. He's a very, very smart man, first of all, which is cool. That's how life should be. So we're getting closer to the election, and the lying on both sides, or I guess all sides. It's not just both sides. It's all sides. The lying is getting worse by the day. And I got no skin in this game, so I'm not going to say there is a politician running for an office right now who might be the biggest asshole ever running in the state of Minnesota. And I just, why do you want to be? You lie every time you open your mouth. And it's this, I don't know where you can find, no, I shouldn't have said he, because it could have been a woman.
No, well, you never know. You just misspoke.
Yeah, I meant they is what I meant. Just totally unqualified. Just, they think they're such a wonderfully brilliant, you're a moron. You, Mr. or Mrs.
Yeah.
Or Miss. It could be
miss. Either one.
Could be either one. There's no question about it. But I listen to it. It's like, well, first of all, I can't name you one politician that I like. Not one. I used to help people, they come to me and, hey, Tom, would you do this? Would you do that? And I would help them out and get elected. Never hear from those people anymore. Not a phone call, not, hey, Merry Christmas, nothing. I never hear from them. So I, and I'm not pissed off about it. I kind of expected, because first of all, ladies and gentlemen, please understand, politics in the United States is all, and probably the world, is all about how much money I can make by being a politician. It has nothing to do with helping people. They claim, we'll help people. No, it's about you making money, becoming famous and making money. That's what it is. Because these people leave office and get these huge jobs that pay tons of money. And that's what this is all about. And I'm not attacking either party. I'm attacking all parties. Mm-hmm. Do you see any good coming from any of these people?
My favorite, to your point, is how long does it take for the tell-all book or like their book deal to land? And it's like, it's a $100 million deal, and they only have to write the foreword, and then somebody else is going to take care of the actual like chapters 1 through 20 or whatever. Yeah,
no question about it. When I had the highest rated morning show in America, they used to beg me to come on. I don't hear from them anymore at all. It just, they don't need me anymore because they're not in politics anymore. They're in private business. Unless they need you, you're not going to hear from them. That's just how it is, right?
Yeah, a lot of times they look at people as a tool to be used to get to where they want to go.
That's a good way to put it. People are a tool to them. I got my own tool. It's right here. Right where Josh Arnold said that one of the 3 T's was on women. I still can't believe he did that. If you haven't heard it, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday's show was one of the greatest shows we have ever done. Craig Gass has always been a great performer. He's just amazing.
Yeah, I think we should preference with that it wouldn't have been possible without the wonderful Craig Gass.
Yes,
there's no doubt about it. There's no question. And I love the fact, and I've known this for years with him because he and I have been great friends for years. He learned how to do everything he does because the rest of his family's deaf.
Yeah, that was like in the chaos that was the Craig Gass experience with Josh Arnold. That was an aspect that was definitely just kind of skipped over when he said his whole family was deaf, because that makes perfect sense why you're able to now communicate and do impressions of people you see on TV, because you lived in a world of essentially silence with learning sign language, and you had to, learn how to talk from Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Wow.
And Christopher Walken hates him.
Yeah. His wife though loves him.
Yes.
Yeah, the wife loves him, but Christopher Walken hates him because he does. That impression is perfect.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's really amazing. And again, he learned it because he had to learn how to communicate with his own family who couldn't hear him. That's amazing to me. So yeah, I just look, you vote for her, whoever you want. If you believe either side's bullshit, you really should sit down and think about it for a while, because this is all bullshit. All of it is. Right?
Yeah. Well, because even like RFK running as an independent, like his running mate says we should probably drop out. Otherwise, like Harris is going to win. And it's like, they're not even like in it for themselves. They're like, we really want, this side to win. So we got to drop out so we can help out other people rather than standing their ground and like, let's take this to the finish line.
And look, this is not a morning show comment. It's a business comment. Picking Tim Walz was the biggest mistake they ever made. I still don't understand why they didn't pick the Jew in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I feel like that.
I don't get it.
That was kind of more the logical pick, and it felt weird because maybe it's just because we live in Minnesota. All you heard was kind of, Walz, would he even get reelected to here because people didn't like him that much? Right. And now he's all of a sudden taken this terrible run he had after the pandemic, somehow parlayed it into getting vice president.
I know. Nominee. It's just and again, I called him the Jew from Pennsylvania because I love Jews. I know everybody hates Jews now, or young people do. You guys don't. I know that.
Yeah.
It used to be a good thing to be called a Jew. Yeah, see, there you go.
I don't know. I can't say I love all of them. I'm sure there's one I don't like, but they've never.
Well, you can't love all of anybody or anything.
Josh Arnold gets on our nerves every once in a while.
Yeah, like yesterday, you mean, when he tried to destroy the show. We should have him call in today so we can just rail on him, I think. I mean, we have a guest. What time's the guest on? It was like 8:45 or something like that, 8:50.
I just love the fact that he was on his bike thinking he was talking to Christopher Walken.
I know. That was just so wonderful. And then all of a sudden, by coincidence, other people started showing up in the studio.
Yeah, I was like, where did Tom Arnold come from? When did he get here?
He just walked in the door.
I don't hear from him anymore. I used to hear from Tom Arnold once in a while. He's an interesting guy, too.
Well, it was nice of him to stop by yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very nice. There's no question about that. But honest to God. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I would say. Stop hating each other based on what a bullshit politician tells you. They're in it for the money. They don't care about you or your rights or anything else. They're in it because there are millions of dollars to be made by being an American politician now. Can you name one politician that's in it just to help you out?
I can't remember his name, but he ran for city. He ran for city council like 5 years ago in North Minneapolis, and he laid out this beautiful plan to like set up a composting structure where you could pay the youth to collect compost buckets, and it was supposed to help like give them money so they're not trying to sell drugs and shoot everybody in North Minneapolis and help beautify the city and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I would vote for you. He had no chance because he was just a regular guy like myself and didn't have all the money backing him. So there is, I guess, some hope, but it's few and far between.
My favorite line so far, and it wasn't directly stated this way, but it was implied that what's her name from North Minneapolis? Ilhan Omar.
Oh, yep.
She implied literally that if you didn't vote for her, you hate Arabs. It's like, no, that has nothing to do with it at all. It's kind of like, you don't vote for Don Samuels, you hate black people. Don Samuels, I thought, was a good politician. I don't know him. I've never met him, never even talked to him, but he seemed like he was sincere. Do you guys know anything about him?
Is that a Minnesota politician?
Yeah, he's running
against
her. And I think the last election had a really like a resurgence and almost beat her. This year I don't think it was as close.
No, it was not.
But yeah, I mean, he seems, from everything I've seen and read about him, he seems like a stand-up guy, and you don't hear any controversies or hate come out of his mouth.
So here's what I would like to get back to people trying to come together instead of political parties tearing us apart. Your job is to bring people together, not tear them apart. And all of you are shredding this country like there's no tomorrow. You politicians are disgusting, and you're doing it to make money, you pigs. Is that broad enough?
I think so.
The scope was pretty broad because I mean all politicians on the planet Earth. Is that enough? That
covered enough, I think, to where.
Okay. So here's what we're going to educate you, because I found out this morning something that I never knew, but then I did a little research and found out, how many moons does Jupiter have?
Oh God.
I'm going to say
Jupiter's
4.
Jupiter's pretty big, I think.
It is big, yes.
I'm going to say like 18.
18, you say 4, you say 18?
Yep.
95.
What?
But then I did some research on
I
these.
was closer.
Yeah, you were
Suck it, Devin.
only about, 65 off. But then I did some research myself and found out, and you're going to love this. This is more bullshit on television and in the news media. Some of those moons on Jupiter are the size of a marble.
See, and according to this there's 4 main large.
There you go.
That's what I was.
Oh, here we go.
Here
we go. So again, go out and vote. Get out. I can't stand any of these people. It's just the scamming, lying, scummy stuff that goes on by all of them. And if they need you, they're all over you. They don't need you, you'll never hear from them again. And let's put it this way. 4 main moons and 91 marbles.
Yes.
That's basically what we're talking here. I think that is just hilarious. That's very funny. All right, we'll take a break here. But seriously, I love doing this show. Yesterday was so much fun. It was unbelievable. The morning show and the family show, because Craig Gass stuck around for the family. He's going to come back and do the show again one day this week. Have you talked to him at all? What day he might do it?
I didn't know that.
No.
But I should have probably, what I'm going to try to talk him into doing is, so I don't have to do the state fair, I'm going to talk him into going out and doing the state fair for me. What do you think?
How's his Tom Barnard impression?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard him try to do one. That'd be good. I like that. It's time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. That's very, very important. If you care deeply about, oh God, I have to, no, I'll do it after the commercial, but I got to throw this in. If you care deeply about someone in your life, and you should, your family is what you got, man. Wellshire, good Tom. Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. The guy who runs it, I'm looking at him right now, his picture's up. He's been a dear friend of mine for years. I highly recommend Wellshire. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility that has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire of Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally. They are family-owned, local company, conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They are the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's take a second to talk about my bank. That would be North American Banking Company, Bilski. If you own a business or thinking about starting one, make sure you check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, turn to their experts because they are experts. That's because they are locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities, not shipped out of state. This helps business owners expand with confidence. They have helped me out over the years. I can't even tell you. God, I hate being nice to Bilski. It's very difficult for me. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Indeed. I did not. The Twins played last night, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Lost again.
They did.
They lose again?
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't just lose. They, for the second time in 3 games, spectacularly melted down. They lost 7-5. But so on Sunday they had a 4-run lead late, and Jorge Alcala came in and within like 9 pitches puked up the entire thing, and the Twins lost. Well, last night they scored 2 in the top of the 8th to take a 5-3 lead, and they brought in left-handed reliever Steven Egert, who gave up 4 runs.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
Pitched a third of an inning, gave up 4 runs, 4 hits. Let's see how many pitches he threw last night so we can compare and contrast how quickly he melted down. Yeah, he threw, was it 19 pitches? So, yeah.
19 pitches and gave up 4 runs?
Yeah, it was real bad again. Real bad. I told you, spectacular.
Oh, my God.
I don't use the word spectacular lightly unless it's really spectacular, and this was spectacular.
Yeah, it's spectacular. No question about that. You're making me very happy today. Like, I got here today, and both AJ and Tevin cheered me up. I'm in a great mood today, and now you just mentioned the name. When I was going to Jordan Junior High School, it's not even there anymore. It's a park now. I think they tore the building down. Mm-hmm. Maybe probably because I went there. That's probably, he went here. Let's just tear it down. But there was a Spanish kid in my classes, and his name was Jorge, but that's not what anybody called him. What did they call him?
George.
No. You ready? Hey, whore. That's what I loved about growing up where I grew up. And the reason I'm thinking about that is yesterday, Catherine and I loved to bike. I can get on a bike. I could ride a bike 100 miles. I just loved riding a bike, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so I took my bike to Johnny Rocks out there in Hopkins. I've known those guys forever. Great guys, great company. They do a really nice job on your bike and all the rest of it. And there's a young black man in America today in there at the same time. And he started talking about some stuff. So I started, doing rhymes with it and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. He looks at me and goes, "You grew up in North Minneapolis, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." "How'd you know?" He said, "I could just tell by the way you act." I'm like, what do you mean by that? So we're like, we're talking, just the nicest guy in the world comes over, shakes my hand, gives me his name. I don't know if he wants me to mention his name, so I won't. But for the young black man that was so here's how the closing went. And this is why I brought it up. He said, "I know. So did you go to the New North or the Old North High School?" I said, "I went to the Old North High School, the one that they tore down and they built the new one." And he said, "Yeah, I went to Patrick Henry." And I said, "Oh, you're a rich kid." And he looked at me wanting to kill me because Patrick Henry wasn't really wealthy, right? But it was a little higher tone than Northside, Patrick Henry. Is it not? It's not Patrick Henry anymore, is it? Didn't they change the name of it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because you can't name anything after a white guy anymore.
I think you're right. Yeah, no,
it's black neighborhood.
Well, how about North? Should have to pronounce it North then. Norf. What do you think?
I think it's just Henry High now.
Oh, it's just Henry?
Yeah.
Named after the candy bar. Oh, Henry.
Yeah, or otherwise I was going to say, was it Clay Henry from those Subway commercials?
Well, there you go, Clay Henry. There you go. Works for me. But the reason I even bring that up is because I mean, this guy never heard of me. He doesn't know I even do a show or whatever. But people engage with me out in public because I guess I have I'm very unusual, I guess is the best way to put it. But man,
not wrong there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's, so I meet people like this guy. Yes, they could not have been a nicer guy. It made my day. That's all I have to say. And of course, Johnny Rock out there and everybody who works for him do a great job. I get to ride my bike today because of those guys. That's all I'm saying. Right?
Perfect day for it, too.
Damn right.
It's another perfect day for it.
You see how I'm avoiding talking about the Twins because I love the Twins and they're pissing me off to no end?
Oh, this was a spectacular meltdown, though. This is worth talking about. This was Rocco. I mean, they brought in a lefty, then it didn't work out. A pinch hit for the lefty. Guy got a hit. Yeah, it was just quick. Two just quick defeats. I told you last week, every time you get confident, right? You start to get cocky, they start to win some games, and you're like, okay, this is now, they have a blip.
Yep. I don't know, but it's a blip. It's a pretty long blip already.
Well, I mean, they were good. They won 3 or 4 in Texas. I was willing to forgive the loss on Sunday because they won the first 3 games, which is pretty good. They should have won 4, but okay. But now they've lost 2 in a row to the Padres, and last night was terrible. And the Padres are, they're playing great baseball, but this is what you're going to play in the playoffs.
Right. That's exactly.
It reminded me of a Twins game, a playoff game in Yankee Stadium. The way they came undone completely and basically puked it up. It reminded me of a game against the Yankees in the playoffs that sports fans in this state will would talk about for the next 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, that's it's such a Twins thing to do. I mean, they had one phenomenal year. That would be 91 because in 86, nobody thought they were going to win, or 87, excuse me.
Yeah.
Nobody thought they were going to win anything because what was the record again that year? It was a terrible record, actually.
Well, and they were great in the Metrodome and awful on the road.
Awful on the road. That's exactly right. I had predicted at the beginning of the year they were going to win the World Series, and I ended up being on a talk show with Gary Gaetti and Ken Herbeck and those guys. I said, how the hell did you know the team was going to win the World Series? Our record wasn't very good. And I said, because I think you're going to win the World Series every year. I love the Twins.
I was going to say, you would have said that from 1961 through 1986, despite the long odds in many of those years.
It's very true. I love the Twins. That's why sometimes I avoid them. Because if I watch the Twins and they're that bad, like you were talking last night, they were horrible last night, apparently, right?
Well, when it mattered, they were, yeah.
It's spectacularly horrible. I can't watch it. I love that team too much. I can't even watch them when they're in a like a low end deal like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the bright side, they're still only 3.5 back from
Right.
Cleveland. They've got another 4-game series with Cleveland later in the year. So as long as they can kind of keep the wheels on and not completely fall
Keep
off,
going, Tevin.
they have a chance to overtake.
Keep spinning it. Keep trying to spin it.
Keep spinning.
As long as they don't puke up more games.
Yeah.
They're still in a wild card spot, so they're still in a playoff spot. But it's just that it's just disappointing when you come back and score. You give up the lead. It's 3-3. You score 2 runs, and so you're like, okay, now they're in pretty good shape. And Ober was on the mound last night, and Bailey has been, lights out, spectacular, and he was good again. And so, like the disappointment there was based on the pitching matchup, which was Ober against former Twin Martin Perez, who is now, incredibly well traveled.
Right.
You'd like to win that game. Like that's a game that you look at the pitching matchup and you think, okay, the Twins probably have an advantage here, even if they are on the road. So
Right.
I won't go on. That's it.
You want to talk about the Vikings instead because they got a couple of preseason games left. We could talk about them.
Only one, thank God.
Only one left?
Saturday. They've cut down from 4 to 3.
I don't watch the preseason, so I didn't even know that.
Well, I don't blame you one bit.
You're not missing much.
No, especially after that hockey went down.
Really? Not good, huh?
Judd, really quick, how I know the Cubs DFA'd Hector Neris yesterday or a day or two ago.
Yeah.
Twins, are they going to be eyeing him up at all to add to the bullpen or no?
Depends on what he costs, I'm sure. Depends on what the price point would be. They've lived up to the expectation that the stated fact that they're going to be cheap. Like they didn't, San Diego added an arm in the bullpen from the Rays and the Marlins. I mean, San Diego's bullpen now is so good. And last night, look, and I don't get this, but Duran supposedly could pitch. They didn't pitch him. Alcala, who was terrible on Sunday, but actually has been pretty good, could have pitched. They didn't pitch him. And they bring in Steven Egert because they didn't go out and get a suitable left-handed reliever. That they went and got Trevor Richards from Toronto, but he's terrible. So, they again didn't do what they should have done. We all said you got to go get more help. You got to go get a starting pitcher, a bullpen arm. And San Diego went and got two. I'm not even saying the Twins should have gotten two, just one more arm. And why Duran didn't pitch last night, I have no bleeping clue.
If you just ignore the problem enough, it hopefully just goes away itself. That's what the Twins seem like they're hoping to do.
It's all true.
That's funny.
All right. Well, thanks for showing up, depressing the piss out of all of us. Really nice job there.
Sorry. Sometimes it's my job to talk about it. Like it's your job to talk about politics. It's my job to tell you what screwed up in sports.
John, what jersey is that on that coffee mug?
Oh, I was thinking that same thing.
It's a Wild jersey. I got this at the the Wild had a huge sale this summer. I got this for like $3, but I got it because it's ironic because I want this guy traded. Philip Gustafson, the goaltender, who I think is going to be dealt. So I drink coffee from the mug, willing the Wild to make the trade that they should to trade him.
Yeah, but that's not what you told me. You told me about that mug because it's Phil Mackey's IQ.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I tried to get you in trouble right there, but
You are. No. It was Declan's.
Oh, Declan.
Yeah, it was Declan's IQ. I can say that with no problem. You got the name wrong.
Declan takes one right in the nuts. That's fantastic.
And he won't even know it, I don't think. Don't tell him.
I won't tell him. I will not tell him.
Don't tell him.
But we'll talk to you tomorrow, Pally.
You will indeed. Talk to you guys.
Thanks, Judd. Judd Zulgad scored. He passes it off to Declan. Yeah. Declan's got the IQ of 32. I love picking on people. Isn't it great?
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, especially when they're not here defending themselves.
Yeah, you don't want them around defending themselves. Hell no. You just attack them behind their back. It's fantastic. I love Declan. Isn't he a good guy?
Oh, he's terrific.
He really is. I mean, so is Phil, obviously. One thing you would know about me is I'm not going to say that unless I like you. Like if I hated somebody, I wouldn't take the time to say you got IQs about 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you ever get a little overly nice to me, I'm going to get worried.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I did not grow up with people. I knew when someone would like me a lot when they would insult the piss out of me. Then I knew, hey, I'm in. Mm-hmm. Life is grand. Ladies and gentlemen, beer, food, Vikings, and real-life jousting. The only place you can find all these things together is at the 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival, happening weekends now through September 29th, plus Labor Day and September 27th, too. That's good. Located at the Renaissance Festival grounds in Shakopee. It's fun for the entire family. And I mentioned they have some bus service. You could park at Canterbury Downs, hop on the bus, and they drop you off right at the front door, from what I understand. When I go, that's what I'm going to do. Tons of different street acts, live music, and full armored jousting. There's always something exciting going on. Like to live on the edge? Try your hand at axe throwing, shooting a crossbow, climbing a rock wall, or test your wits in an escape room. It's also perfect for kids of all ages, featuring a petting zoo, various rides and games, along with arts and crafts events. Plus, with over 250 artisans and shops around the festival, you may just find something that scratches your medieval itch. Visit RenaissanceFest.com now for tickets, parking passes, and all other information. The 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Visit RenaissanceFest.com today.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all of your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock, clearance, and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM and you get free shipping on your entire order, get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Mr. Egert, what the hell was that face you were making?
I thought I had some in my teeth. Sorry.
Oh my God. He's like, I
tried to do that so you didn't see it. Sorry. I realized not everybody has the video access to this right away, which I thought they did. So yeah, my mistake.
They do.
Do they?
If they want to watch and listen to it live, they can do that.
I didn't know it always had video up the first run, but I'm obviously on and I'm not watching, so I don't know.
What the hell's wrong with this guy? AJ.
He's a character.
You're a character.
Chris, you got
my mom listens to it and doesn't get the video stream. She just
she doesn't?
She just hears it. So that's
where is she? Is she in Huron or where is she?
Not Huron, a different town.
Different town. Okay. We're not going to even talk about where she is.
Armour, South Dakota is the name of the town.
Armour?
Armour.
Where is
that?
In
Armour hot dogs.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I love that.
Where is name? It's kind of about, where the world's only corn palace is in Mitchell?
I do indeed.
Okay, it's about 35, 40 minutes south of there.
I love that place.
Tevin's like, yeah.
Who doesn't know where the Corn Palace is? That's like one of the first vacations I went on as a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
To the good old Corn Palace and other wonderful attractions in the Dakotas.
That's a real place.
Oh, the Corn Palace.
AJ, you got to go.
It's got a low bar for excitement.
You go there. You go to Wall Drug, the Black Hills.
Well, I'll tell you, none of the people who are from there go to any of these places. We just they built them to take advantage of all the Minnesotans who are driving through. Like, yeah, let's put a bunch of corn up on a gym and see if we can get somebody to come and spend their money here.
A massive T-Rex and Wall Drug for some reason.
Yep.
I love South Dakota. It's a great state, man.
It is. Someday I'll probably retire there.
Was it Chamberlain? Is it the Chamberlain River? What's the name of the river in the middle of the state?
Missouri River.
Oh, the Missouri. But isn't there or does it go through Chamberlain, South Dakota?
Chamberlain's the name of the town there.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it is. It's super pretty.
No question. Just like you, you're super pretty too.
Oh, thanks, Tommy. You too, buddy.
All of it sounds so sincere, doesn't it? Like
it does. Very sincere.
Thank you, Tommy.
I wouldn't normally start with economic news,
okay,
but Target had some pretty encouraging news that came out this morning. Their first quarterly sales increase in a year. They've been really not doing well, and they sort of came up with a different strategy to try to appeal to people who are dealing with higher prices at the stores, and they cut a lot of their prices on things like milk, bread, meat, and so now they're making a little more money.
Imagine that.
What a shock. I, for one, am surprised that when you lower the prices, people buy more.
Really?
What a shock, everybody.
They have to go to business school to figure that out.
It's obviously more complex than that, but that's the less focus on going to Target and buying, a pair of pants or whatever, or some neat sheets made by Chip and Joanna Gaines. Instead, more of a focus on cheap groceries.
Well, that's good. I like that. Works for me. Now all we got to do is keep these politicians from raising the interest rate to about 97%. That'd be good.
Yeah, I would be nice if those interest rates would go back down. I for one get kicked in the nuts every month.
Oh yeah. Well, Minnesota now has the second highest tax rate in the country.
Yeah, we pay a lot for things, that's for sure.
South Dakota, where you're from.
Nope, that's a much better place for taxes, that's for sure. A lot of people
income tax.
A lot of people, in fact, I'm not naming names, but I know there are a fair amount of people who actually reside in Minnesota and claim to be residents of South Dakota in order to skirt said tax laws. So
now listen, don't bring this up to my wife, Catherine, but I got to ask you, is your governor as pretty as she looks on television?
I've never met her. I've never met her. No, I'm so old.
She's stunning.
She wasn't even around when I haven't lived there for 25 years. So I don't, I think the whole shooting the dog thing is kind of hard.
That was
kind of hard for people to get past that.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask that, but is she the one that shot her dog in the face?
Yep.
Right.
Well, look, she's good looking. She could be nuts.
He
goes, I
don't know. It's still a dog. It's a weird way to go about that. But
I don't tell Jude about it. Whenever we're walking Jude, I don't bring it up.
He barks at her every time she sees her on TV.
It's true. Poor Judy. So what else is happening, Palomino?
Mr. Tim Walz is going to be accepting the Democratic nomination. Your buddy, your guy, Tom.
Oh, yeah, he's my favorite. He's always been my kind of guy. No question about it.
I had an observation.
Wait a minute. You know who else is on the show today? Devin's here. God, I hate that so much when he does.
Is it just the gesturing, or is it more? Or is that the thing that it's all?
I hate politicians, all of them. You can have all of them. Ugh, disgusting human beings.
Yeah, I
for the money. Why don't you just tell us the truth?
I say I don't want to talk about it, and I brought it up, but I thought I should point that out.
We don't want to talk about it.
Fair starts tomorrow. That's huge.
Is it?
You got to be out there every day again, Chris, or what?
You're darn right. Yeah. So that is a good reminder. Day? I will be doing my visits with you guys. I don't know if the video, it might be over the phone. AJ, we'll figure that out.
This is a really quick detour. You should go to, because Chris and I have been doing this for what now, 3 years in a row of going out there every single day together. Maybe not as close of companions as we are now via the show, but go to the GL booth. They have good Wi-Fi. Just see if you can get the password going there, and then it's AC at least too, so you can hang out and watch it.
And that was nice of you to take my spot on Saturday and be out there in my stead. That's good.
Are you not going to be out there this year, Tommy?
The state fair, forget it.
You were out there last year. You had a big thing.
No, nothing.
Oh, now you're too important to come out to the fair?
Too important? That's got nothing to do with being important. No, I don't know. I've never been a state fair kind of guy.
Every day is excessive. And if I were you, Chris, I would be maybe stream in from the whatever those gondola things that go around up and down. Pick a new location every day to try and where in the state fair is Chris Egert.
Do you have one thing you want to try?
What's that?
Like food wise, is there one thing on your list that's you have to get before the end of the fair?
I'm going to try. I'm actually trying this year to not spend my own money.
Oh, there you go.
Fair.
Smart.
Because I always fall into this trap. I come in and I'm just fat ass eating everything and blah, 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 blah. And next thing I know, by the time the fair's over, I've spent a ton of money. I mean, they're usually bringing food over to our booth for us to, or our building for us to sample and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll try to not spend any of my own money.
It's a good plan.
All right, have you been working on your best, like throw on your best polo shirt, Channel 5 polo shirt, and walk up the counter and, hey, honey, Chris,
No,
Chris,
I don't.
I
wouldn't
get a little something to try.
No. I wouldn't do that. That like our producers work with the different vendors to like feature a different thing every day.
Okay.
AJ, I've never been able to pretend to throw some clout around because I ain't got any. So.
Oh, I'd be
I
on
know
like
Ken Barlow. I'm really good friends with Ken Barlow. He's hungry.
yeah, I'd be on like the news the day before the state fair and just list off everything you want to try or that you're excited to try, and then hope that they're all watching, and then they'll just bring you stuff during the fair. That's the route you got to take.
Noted. Tom, I can't believe you're missing out on this, Tommy.
You know, I'd like to go, but I'm very busy that hour.
I'm washing my hair, I think.
Yes, I'm going to finally take a shower. That's a good way to put it right there. No, you know, it's all about effort. You make an effort for me, I'll make an effort for you. You don't, then I won't either. That's how it works.
Well, maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if I can. Well, I had a lot of fun there last year. A lot of really, really nice people.
Yeah, didn't Shelby go out too? Didn't you guys have the whole
Don Shelby was out there. Tevin was out there. Mm-hmm. Well, you and AJ are going out, aren't you?
I have a wedding that I will be
at.
Oh,
so he's not going either. Ah, see? Hey, don't lie, AJ. You're not going either, are you?
Oh, it's going to be really, really hard to fill an hour just by myself.
Well, I'd be sitting there by myself because I know you're not coming. So, you know, there you have it. It's like, I'm not going out there to sit by myself. No, thanks. So you should.
That actually would be hilarious, Tom.
Just sit there by myself. Yes.
Yeah, you're just sitting there at a table.
I like it. All right, pal. Get back to your real job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Because we have an update on the dog mayor today. Remember, I told you guys last week about the city from Minnesota that has a dog mayor.
Dougie's here. About time you got here, Doug Sprinthal.
Tell Doug I want to ride on his boat.
Chris Egert said he wants to ride on your boat.
Okay.
Oh, you need headphones?
Well, only if I want to talk to him.
I don't know if I want you talking to him. That's the problem right there. You got one more second? You got one more minute? Chris?
I have one more second.
Okay, one more second. Here's Doug Sprinthal.
Chris, how are you?
What's up, Doug?
Just enjoying summer. We moved to Red Wing, and I love it down there. I really
phenomenal.
do.
That's a great town.
It's
I
beautiful.
see your Facebook post. You're living a good life down there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back to work at some point because
there you go.
I got a call from the bank, and they said, you stopped putting money in here this year. So, well, you know, I've been busy.
Well, that wasn't Bilski, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Bilski. Okay.
It was Bilski.
I'll talk to him. No problem. Chris, you're a gentleman and a scholar.
All right, you guys, have a good time. Doug, good to listen to you or to hear you. I don't see you, but good to hear you.
All right, sir. Take care.
He'll be popping up on the screen any second. Thanks a lot, Chris. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Dougie Sprinthal in studio. We'll take a break. Be right back, and Dougie will take over.
Okay. That'll be exciting.
South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers too, by the way, by Forbes, the #2 best state business tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and the #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls is a robust growing job market. No matter where you are in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top cities for small business, or all business, as a matter of fact. But it's always great, small business. Small cities for business and careers. Each of the last 15 years, Sioux Falls has been. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the number 4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And South Dakota, as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, we are back, and I'm the only one that's ready.
Well,
there we go. Hey, everybody.
Normally we have a producer that goes like 10 seconds. No, that's my bad. I was definitely not paying attention.
Doug, hey, how you been, man?
I've been really good.
I'm loving this kind of caveman, rogue, lumberjack look you've been going on here the past few weeks.
Well, my wife likes bearded men. Oh, boy, does that sound wrong. She encourages me to grow a beard. Let's just say that. And I used to hate it. Mm-hmm. Because after a week or two, it would try to go home and just attack my face. And the last place I worked, there was a guy there, great salesman named Bob Ford, who had just a tremendous beard. And I was talking about that. He goes, "We need beard balm." I says, "What the hell is beard balm?" And you go in and it's some sort of cream that they charge $9 for, but it actually works.
Yep. It's like back in the day, it was just, you could just grow a mountain man type beard. Yeah. But today you got to have the beard butters and lotions.
Beard
and
butter. That's
that stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
Creams.
Butter.
Yep. Yeah. You got to look pretty.
Well, I made a huge mistake. As long as you guys are talking about this, I let my beard grow for 5 days and then shaved it off.
Yeah.
That hurts like a son of a bitch.
Yeah. So what you do then is you get like clippers first and trim it down and then take the razor to it.
Oh, God, did that hurt.
Yeah. That's like cutting a tree down with a nail.
What are you going to do? I don't look good with a beard, by the way. You do, but I don't.
Well, thank you for saying that.
You've never had a beard, have you?
Not even close.
I couldn't grow one until I was 35 or so. I mean, I tried a couple times, but I looked like it was on chemo.
Oh,
that's nice.
I worked at when I worked at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. They were No Shave November. Everybody has to participate. Yeah. We're going to raise a bunch of money. Oh, no. Got to the end of November, and I had like 4 straggly hairs. I was like, I look like an absolute child.
I worked with these 2 brothers that used to have the wildest bets. Like if you lose, you have to work at McDonald's for a month. Mm-hmm. And one of the bets, the guy lost, he had to shave half his beard off and work for a month.
Oh, God.
It was funny. Only dudes would do that.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. I did have a Fu Manchu one back
Did
when
you
I was
really?
a teenager. I had the Fu Manchu.
Is that in the high karate era?
I think so, yes. You're tied. Remember that was their Christmas commercial.
Oh,
You're tied. I love that. Those were high karate. Is that even still around?
I think that hasn't been around for almost 50 years.
You had Chaz, you had Millionaire, you had high karate, all kinds of stuff. I suppose that was racist.
Brute. Don't forget.
Oh, Brute. You had Brute. You're absolutely right. Brute's still around though, I think, isn't it?
Is it really?
At like drugstores. I used to love that. Go buy cologne at a drugstore. Like what?
So at one point we had 3 teenage boys in the house, and this is, not that long ago. It was during the Axe era. You could barely walk in the front door without your eyes watering. It's like, guys, throttle back a little bit.
Dial her back. It was a big deal to wear cologne back in those days. Like in the 60s, it was you had to have cologne, man. There's no question about it. But what I loved the most about it, there was a disc jockey on the kind of R&B station. Basically, what do they used to call the black music back in those days in the 60s and 70s? It had its own name, but I can't remember.
Well, in the Southeast, they call it beach music.
Beach music, and then they had soul music. They called it for a while, whatever. Yeah, it's that kind of
deal. In the 40s and 50s, it was race music.
It was race music back then. Yeah, it was, absolutely. But this kid went on the air and used the name Chaz Millionaire because there was Chaz Cologne and Millionaire Cologne at Merwin Drugstore right next to one another. He looked at it and went, hey, that's a good name, Chaz Millionaire. I love that.
Isn't that a rapper now? Or like used to like Chamillionaire? Or am I?
Oh, you know what? I bet.
It's Chamillionaire. Yeah, I don't know if that's where he got it from, but is Chaz Millionaire like part of he was in Minnesota?
Yeah, KUXL.
Yeah, okay, because that's what pops up here from 1981.
Was 81?
Chaz Millionaire.
He was good though. He was very good on it. I wonder what he does now. Is he still in the business? Does it say?
He's in the cologne business.
yeah, now he's in it. But he was good on the air. I remember that. No question about it. My favorite thing back in that era when it was just everybody's we're all coming together. And I know there was an announcer over at WTCN at the time. It's now Carol 11.
Yeah, that's Channel 11.
WTCN, and they had a black announcer. And I won't even say his name because I didn't even know the guy or whatever, but he did something I thought was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. He got in a battle with management about, the way he was delivering the, WTCN, a Chris Kraft station, doing that kind of, because he had that deep, really nice voice. So they said, could you just change the way you do it? And he goes, yeah, I can do that. Next time he comes on live on the air, he goes, WTCN, just am a Chris Kraft station. I thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever heard in my life. Like, why don't you blow it out your ass? I'll do it the way I want to do it.
They were WUSA for a minute too.
Yeah, KUSA, I think it was. Or what? No, it was WUSA. It was WUSA, and then that went to I think Washington.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, they took it over to Washington now. Oh, we care. KARE.
Well.
I used to hang out there a lot when Paul Majors was the anchor there, but then the guy that took over, he was not a big fan of your boy here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way life works out.
Yeah, you can be a little polarizing. Not so much anymore, but back then.
Yeah, it was always the little
good,
guys, though.
Good
too.
For the career.
Little fellas always got pissed off at me.
Hey, I got to thank you. The Instigators. I'm
phenomenal.
Still laughing about that.
I love that movie.
It was great.
You guys seen The Instigators?
I have not.
I did. I had surprisingly a lot of time this last weekend, just laid up on the couch. I checked it out, and it's not I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece, but was it entertaining? Yeah. There was good banter beteen
that's the main thing. I mean, the plot is exactly riveting.
That's really all I want, though. Like that's what a couple good action scenes, sure, but like Casey Affleck, Matt Damon, that's gonna I want the banner dialogue back.
That's what it was. Could Ron Perlman look any more prehistoric?
Oh my God, he looks like a caveman.
No, he's like 400 pounds.
He does, honest to God. I thought it was a very entertaining. Well, first of all, I like both those. Matt Damon and Casey Affleck I've always liked those guys.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his brother, who got divorced apparently.
Who did?
Ben?
Yeah.
Ben Affleck? He did?
Yep.
Yeah.
J-Lo filed yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Round 3.
Oh, is that right? She's been married like 8 times, hasn't she?
Yeah, and I think 5 of them have been to Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, so those kids aren't together anymore?
Who saw that coming? What a shock.
Yeah, I don't really understand that whole deal. Like, I'm going to marry a woman that's already been married 4 times. Why would you do that? She obviously doesn't like it. You don't see her name around anymore. Is she retired or something?
I don't know.
J-Lo?
Yeah.
She had a residency in Vegas. She was on. She was like a judge on The Voice, but she hasn't been doing a lot of.
Well, she had that movie that came out that was a total flop, and she had a world tour that I think got canceled because she said she wanted to spend more time with friends and family, which in reality means I wasn't selling a lot of tickets.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what that means.
All right, we'll take a break because we got a guest coming up. I'm looking forward to it. Aasif, it's Mandvi. Is that how you say the name?
Aasif Mandvi.
It's just Mandvi.
Mandvi, yeah.
There's a D in there, but you don't pronounce the D. Mandvi?
No, Mandvi.
It is Mandvi.
Yep, Mandvi.
Well, that's not what you just said.
Mandvi.
You're a disaster.
Aasif Mandvi.
I want to say that you're a disaster.
That's fine. I'm a disaster. I'm terrible. I'm the worst.
Aasif Mandvi will be with us. Final season of Evil, which is a good show. You guys ever watch that show, Evil?
Not seen it.
I've not.
It's good. It's a good show. Aasif with us in or is it Aasif?
Aasif.
It's Aasif Mandvi.
Yes.
Yep. Why don't you get some guy named like Bill Smith on? What the hell?
I tried. Bill was busy this week.
Bill was too busy. We'll be right back. Aasif will be with us in just a couple of seconds. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell of MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest ready to go. Aasif Mandvi with us, the final season of Evil. Can I pronounce it Evil, Aasif?
You can. I like the way you say it.
Yes. I like it. Evil. That's a great show, by the way. I'm one of those guys, I just love that whole genre. The final season of Evil, which airs on Thursday, tomorrow, on Paramount Plus. The show also began airing on Netflix, which has opened it up to a whole new audience. It has been in the top 10 streaming shows. I could see why. The acting's very good. The stories are very good. I love the whole thing. Aasif, what's the latest?
Well, the show is coming to a close tomorrow, Thursday, on Paramount Plus. But for those who haven't caught it yet, it's available on Netflix. Like you said, the first 2 seasons are there. All 4 seasons are on Paramount Plus. And, I'm very proud of the work that we did on the show. I think we still hope that there's life after this finale, because I think we're not ready to drop it yet. I think Robert and Michelle King, who created the show, have a lot more stories they want to tell in this genre. The actors want to come back, so we're hoping there's more. But Evil is a rare combination of horror for the horror fans. There's a procedural element to it, but it's also very funny and absurd, and deals with social satire and social commentary as well. So it is really kind of a unique show and quite elevated for this genre.
Is there any chance, since it is going to be on Netflix now, that maybe Netflix will go, hey, wait a minute, the show's doing really well. Is there any way you could keep it going? It's a great show.
I mean, we all hope so. We all hope Netflix will either, pick it up and make more seasons of it, or maybe Paramount themselves will reconsider, and because we are getting more fans now than we've ever had.
Yep.
Our final season, you would have thought that when Paramount licensed it to Netflix that they would have waited to see how it did and before they canceled it.
Yeah.
But now we're doing gangbusters. Well, Hollywood executives are not known for their brain cells, so we're doing gangbusters. We've got more fans now than we've ever had. People writing to me on social media all the time, like, why is the show canceled? I've been binging it for 4 days. I can't stop watching it. So, we're definitely, we have a large and very passionate fan base. I'm excited about that. And I'm hoping that they will sway the powers that be to bring us more seasons, because we're all ready to do it. We all want to keep working on it. We've had such a tremendous time these last 4 years, or 5 years, because the pandemic stopped us for a year. But, working together on this show, and like you said, the writing is tremendous. The acting, I'm very proud of. The cast is great. We've got myself, Mike Coulter, who people know from Luke Cage, Katja Herbers, Christine Lottie, Andrea Martin, Kurt Fuller, the whole gang, Michael Emerson, who people know from Lost. So it's just a tremendous cast, and we hope that we get to do more. So write to your congressperson. I don't know, write whoever.
Write whoever. God, you remind me a lot of people I grew up with. Honestly, that delivery is wonderful. Aasif, as part of this, do you think? Because radio is going through the same thing with podcasting. There's radio, there's podcasting, there's network television, and then there are places like Netflix. Is part of this because television the way it used to be, radio the way it used to be, newspapers have disappeared? It's just a whole different element now. I got to believe that Netflix is going to look at these numbers and go, hey, let's just put it on Netflix and we'll go forward.
Well, that's the hope, I mean, look, the entire television world has been turned upside down.
Yep.
Streaming came in, they broke the business model. Then they realized that they couldn't sustain the business model that they had created. And now they're going back to the old business model. So, it's all like the whole, as they say, is a little bit fakakta right now, But in it, I still believe that great shows. Can I say fakakta? I don't know.
I love it.
But I do believe that great shows and great content will emerge, and fans find it and they love it, and they get behind stuff. So there's so much stuff out there. Netflix is the Walmart of television. Like you can find everything there, good, bad, and ugly. But I think content that is really strong and really powerful and elevated, I think hopefully fans get behind it and ask for more of it, because that's what we, and that's what these executives need to be told.
The great thing about it, and again, my wife and I have been fans since day one of the show. I think the situation is that Evil goes after, like you said, horror in a different way, and I think an improved way. I love the way these, whatever would happen to pop up on the show. The show looked at it from a different angle, and I love that about Evil.
Well, I think the show is always, Robert said this thing to me once. He was like, let's do it because it's fun. Mm-hmm. And Robert and Michelle King, who created the show, I think their mantra is, let's do it because it's fun. And so even within the genre of horror and, sort of a more conventional procedural sort of a la Law and Order, there's this kind of element of fun that exists there, which you don't always find. It's not a typical sort of horror show. It has, we have demons that have names like George and Abby and, things like that. And so, like our demons are kind of like weird and not like what you would normally expect. I remember there was one episode in season 3 or season 2 or 3 where my character is being attacked by a demon. Like at night, she comes and she enters his bedroom, Ben's room, and she has to take out her retainer before she can bite him. And that sort of is the DNA of the show, right? Like our demons have retainers that they have to take out before they can actually inflict any harm. So those kind of absurd moments, those things where you go, oh, that's not what I would expect in a horror show. They make the show more interesting. They make the show more engaging. And it's a hall of mirrors, because also what we do is, the premise of the show is that we're trying to assess these cases, trying to figure out, are they paranormal? Are they, scientific? It's sort of a cross between the X-Files and Ghostbusters, and that sometimes the answers are not always clear. Sometimes some things are answerable and some things are a mystery. And the whole thing becomes a hall of mirrors where you don't know what's real and what's not real. And I think that's what keeps the audience coming back.
It is one. Aasif, just tell him, go in and see him today and tell him, don't make my Uncle Tommy come out here. Because if he comes out here, this thing's never going off the air. All right?
That's right. That's right.
Aasif,
all right, I will.
You're a good man, Aasif. And you got to keep this show. I got to believe Netflix will pick it up because it's a terrific show. It's funny. It's scary. It's everything people want. I got to believe Netflix will pick it up. And you come back on when that happens, all right?
Well, I will. And I encourage all the fans to write to CBS, write to Paramount Plus, tell them you want more Evil.
I want more.
TV show. Not in the world.
No, there's enough evil in the world already, Aasif. There's no doubt about that.
We don't want more evil in the world. Less evil in the world and more evil on television. That's how it should be.
You're a good man.
Right now, the scales are tipping the other way.
All right, Aasif, come back soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, pal. Aasif Mandvi, ladies and gentlemen, the final season of Evil. Have you guys watched the show?
I have not.
It's really good.
I'll say I feel like I need to watch it because just the lineup of people in the show, like Mike Coulter, Michael Emerson.
Yep.
There's a lot of notable names. That
I have a question for you. What's the guy's name again?
Aasif Mandvi.
Now, did you expect from that name that he'd sound like a guy named Lenny Shapiro?
Oh, and let me just don't make me kick your ass.
It's like
I loved him.
I didn't want to ask him, how the hell did you get that name?
I thought he was terrific.
Yeah.
Could you do us all a favor, AJ, and put up the picture of the woman who stars on the show, because it'll improve your day. She is stunningly beautiful. I mean, I know a lot of actresses are stunningly beautiful.
Katja Herbers is her name.
Katja?
Yep.
Katja Herbers. Yeah, I got to pop her picture up on the screen because she's an attractive young, and she's really good, by the way. The cast does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very big, strong black man on there. That's why you like it.
Yeah, that's Mike Coulter. He was the main.
Exactly.
He was the main character in what's the Netflix? One of the Netflix.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. There we go.
Oh, Luke Cage. There you go.
Yeah. So
absolutely. You having trouble finding her?
Honestly, it's a little tough doing this one-handed, so give me another second.
You sugar tit.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to push
take
through.
that fake.
What are you doing with the other hand?
Oh, didn't you hear what happened to him?
No.
Did you break your arm?
No, I tore a couple ligaments in my shoulder.
Playing pickleball.
No, he was rescuing somebody from a burning car.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's right.
During a pickleball tournament.
You should see the other guy.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing about that? While he's looking to
Here you go.
Oh, you got it? Okay, good. Look at that. Just the look on her face is like, I'll kick your ass. Can you see her?
I know. I just turned on the computer. I'm not.
She
not
is
online.
She's just got that look. I love good-looking women who got this look at her like, I'll kick you right in the nuts.
You married one of those.
Well, I did marry one of them. That's very true. There's no question about it. And let's get back to Sugar Tit AJ. You know, tweaks his shoulder a little bit, and all of a sudden he's crippled.
Yeah, wiffle ball all-star.
Speaking of that, it was wiffle ball.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a doctor today, so hopefully I can get a better ETA.
That'd be good. Catherine and I last night walked over to a pickleball court. There are 4 of them in this one location. And I got over there, not a chance you could get on any of those. There were people waiting to get on when the other.
Crazy.
Man, that sport is huge. Pickleball is gigantic. You play that too, AJ?
I have.
You like it?
It's a little harder now, but
yeah, now you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, no, I was a tennis guy growing up. My family,
okay.
Yeah, so with my grandma just getting a little older, we shifted from tennis to pickleball. It's a little easier on her, and I don't mind it. It's fun.
Tom, with that situation where there's so many people there, is it like in basketball where you're like, all right, we're playing to see who gets to keep playing on the court and losers got to go? So you and Catherine just run the show?
No, we don't run any show. We never even got near the court. There were people lined up for miles, and then the tennis courts were full too.
Yeah. Oh wow. It's perfect night to play.
Oh God, it was gorgeous.
Not too hot, no wind. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
Let me see if this is weird for you guys, because right across the street, it's a part of town in Wayzata that it's the oldest part of town. It's right under the water tower. Is where the pickleball courts are.
And that's where the old high school is, right?
Yeah, right next to.
Since they built the new one.
You mean the college campus that's out there?
Oh my God, that thing is gigantic. But there's a cemetery. And I've always been this way since I was a little kid. I love to look at history by walking around a cemetery. It's amazing. Some of these stones look like they've been there for about 500 years. And of course, it's been about 150, something like that.
Yeah, I grew up in Lexington. And when we were kids, we did that all the time. And the Puritans had kind of a dark view of life. He was born, suffered anguish and peril at 22. And it's all these dark figures. And
that's exactly why I love going through cemeteries, because you look at all this stuff and it's like, look how the world has changed just from the gravestones.
Well, in old cemeteries, the number of like 2- and 3-year-old kids that are buried there.
God, yes. Yep. But even then, honest to God, even then, so this is like 130 some years ago. You got the English people over here. You got the Scandinavians over here. They're all separated from one another. This is not a new thing where people separate from one another. That's been going on since Adam and Eve, for Christ's sake. But it's so interesting to see brother, sister, that whole, it's just, you see how society has changed over the years by looking at gravestones. It's amazing. Like what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead because he had it coming.
Yeah,
it's kind of the implication, We'll take a break, be right back. KB2 will join us right after this.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust. trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. God, we don't have Craig Gass for you today, Kristen. What are you going to do?
Can I tell you a story about this?
Uh-oh.
So I know it's pretty hilarious. My husband is up in San Francisco visiting his family. He was up early yesterday and he said to my very sweet mother-in-law, let's listen to KB on the show.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Like, of all days. And it's partially my fault because I brought up his Sex and the City role, which I knew was raunchy, but I figured it was a good story. And it was a good story, but it was a very dirty story. So hopefully my mother-in-law doesn't think less of me today.
You didn't let her listen to the Josh Arnold part of it, did you?
No.
Oh,
sounds
I think they tuned in for my segment only.
Josh said something on the show yesterday. I was like, really?
I missed it too. So you had asked, did you hear that? And I said, actually, no, I was working on an article, so I was not listening.
Josh has become a great friend of mine. I met him because of this show. I think the world of the guy. He's got seeds the size of basketballs.
So
I'll tell you that.
I have to ask. I'm sorry. What did he say?
I can't say it in front of Kristen.
We have to go back and roll the tape from yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know. Do we still have the tape from yesterday?
You can stream it if you want to. I don't have it. I had like access to it right now.
He only has one wing.
Okay, let me. He's only got one wing. I will not tell you what he said, but he said what he likes about. I can't. Is there any way I can explain?
Somehow we got on the topic of. I think he was talking to Tom Arnold at the time, and he was like, "Hey, Josh, are you single? Like, we can date or something like that." Made a reference to that, and Josh goes, "Oh, I like my partners to have the 3 T's." And there's kind of a little pause. Josh, what are the 3 T's? And he goes, 2 tits and a twat. And that was
on the air. Look at the look on Kristen's face.
Yep.
Do you have to bleep? Do you have to bleep that?
Did you have to repeat that? We're all sitting here like.
It was a moment on the show.
That was Josh, though, recalling the story with Tom Arnold. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was just Josh volunteering what he likes most about his partners.
I'm guessing Josh is single.
No,
he's not.
No, he is single.
Surprising.
He's single, but he's dating.
Oh, okay.
Very attractive girlfriend, by the way. I will say that. No question. But listen, let's move on. How about this? The 3 B's for men. The first one is brain, and you can guess what the other 2 are.
Yeah,
so going forward.
Love it.
Okay, let's change the story. How about the 2 KBs, Kristen Burt and Catherine Brandt? Let's talk about them.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's shift. Obviously the big news of the day, and of no surprise to absolutely anyone, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are donezo.
Those crazy kids.
I love, though, this is the most petty thing ever. She filed because the moment that she filed, I said, why is she filing on a Tuesday? I don't know if people realize, but the Friday 5 p.m. news dump is the best PR to do it because the news cycle over the weekend, people won't cover it. They're busy doing other things. And by Monday, people are talking about it less. That's usually what publicists recommend. Jennifer Lopez did not use a lawyer, filed by herself on Tuesday, August 20th, which happened to be their 2-year anniversary of their Georgia wedding. So it was clearly sending a message to Ben Affleck.
Is there like a points club for frequent filers?
I bet. She's what,
She's
5
probably
now?
got a whole bunch of
This
points.
was her 4th marriage. I mean, I think what's interesting though, people are like, they are the Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton of our time. I'm like, I don't know about that. But he's really difficult. And I know everyone is putting the dump on Jennifer Lopez because she just loves love. And she made a movie about their love, the greatest love story never told. We talked about that earlier this year. However, he is awful to date or marry. He was constantly stepping out on Jennifer Garner when he was married to her.
Really?
Oh, yes. The reason Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck didn't get married the first time, he allegedly cheated on her at his bachelor party.
Oh, God.
So, and obviously, he has a lot of demons with his addiction. He's on the wagon, off the wagon. He falls off constantly. He also is not a piece of cake. And I feel like it takes 2 to tango. She loves the limelight. He hates the limelight. They were oil and water to begin with, and it didn't make a beautiful salad dressing. It really didn't.
So is there anybody for her after 4 swings and a misses? Can she find somebody that she fits with?
I think this is Jennifer Lopez. She's got tons of money. She's got her kids. Enjoy all of that. Find a friends with benefit situation and live, laugh, love.
I don't understand how Catherine and I have been together now for 44 years, been married for almost 41 years. How did we make such a mistake where we don't do it like anyone else does it? What I just don't you pick someone that you really love and you marry him and that'd be good?
I don't know. I mean, I find that at least in my friend group, a lot of my friends who got married in their 20s are on their second marriages now. So I think and maybe that comes with living in Los Angeles and working in the entertainment industry. I find my friends who got married later on in life are still married. So it's kind of interesting. I think it's different if you live maybe outside the Los Angeles bubble, maybe even the New York City bubble. But I don't know.
You made a good point though, because I got married at 32. I had never been married till I was 32 years old. So maybe that's part of it. Could be.
I mean, my niece got married at 21. They already have their first baby. They started dating. They met in middle school. They started dating in high school. Every situation is different. So you never know.
Yeah, that's true. For a lot of people, it's probably very, very difficult, I would guess. I don't know. Yeah. I know when to shut up. That's a good point that I've got.
Usually if you're banging somebody at the bachelor party, that's not a
It's not a good sign that you're mature and ready to marry.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but it happens more often than you would think. People in their brain go, this is my last hurrah. And I will tell you, this is a warning to men and women who decide that they want to step out. People are now calling you out on social media going, I was at this bar in Nashville. If your husband-to-be is named James and he was at this bar on Broadway, he was cheating on you and you shouldn't marry him. And people will connect the dots and figure out who it was because there's enough details or they have video. But I feel like people are doing you a favor. This is not the person you should marry anyway.
Is social media causing a lot of problems for marriages because people say things on there that just flat are not true? But a lot of people believe they are true.
I think people get in trouble with social media because people slide into each other's DMs and start emotional affairs that become physical affairs. And a lot of times Facebook was the start of it because you were reconnecting. When it first came out, you're reconnecting with your high school friends.
Yeah.
Maybe your high school boyfriend or girlfriend. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you realize you're only a town away and you can go to a third town that's just nobody knows you. And all of a sudden, you're meeting at the 1 hour motel to have some fun.
You know what's really weird about that? And obviously this is a whole different, it has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but I never realized when I met Catherine and we got married and we've been together all this time that somebody sent me the pictures from 8th grade when I was at St. Anne's. And Ellen, who's a good friend of mine, Catherine and she could be twins. And I never even realized that.
You have
But
a
Ellen,
type.
just a very pretty woman, nicest person. I talk to Ellen about once a year now. She lives in California now, but I suppose you have a type. Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. And then, it all works out in the end, I guess. But I don't know. I just, doesn't it take a lot of work to cheat on someone?
It is. It's a lot of deception, and you have to keep up with the lies. And I mean, and you know what? The truth always finds the light. That's what I always believe that at a certain point, you're just going to run out of luck.
I suppose. But all right, moving on to other flowery topics.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday, but we were going to talk about the Michael Orr situation and how he finally broke his silence about the case and the blind side and the Toohey family. He did a really deep dive interview on New York Times Magazine. So if you're interested in like more details, it's really worthwhile because he's been in a conservatorship from the age of 18 until 37.
Wow.
And to me, it's amazing because there were no mental health issues. He obviously had a incredible career in the NFL. But basically they had control over his entire being. He couldn't make any decisions without them. They were making all the financial decisions for him and got a slice of the pie, including his story for The Blind Side, which he said was not really what happened. Because, if you watch The Blind Side, because if you watch The Blind Side, if you remember, Kathy Bates's character was basically teaching him how to read. They were basically saying he was illiterate. And he said, I wasn't illiterate. He's like, I did maybe need some tutoring, which is fine. But it wasn't like we're starting at first grade here. And he said it got to the point that some of my teammates were wondering if I could read the playbook and understand it.
He's a pretty good guy to piss off, isn't he?
Well, he also was like in the movie they like have to teach him how to play football from scratch. And he's like, I know how to play football. Like, what are we doing? Yeah,
they made him come off as like the longest yard when he's like, you teach me to football? Like that's what they made him come across as.
And and then people would meet him and be like, wait, that wasn't the movie. No, what the movie was, this completely fictionalized story, loosely based off of what happened. And he said it's really conflicting for him because he knew that he was loved in the Toohey family and they provided him with the life to get to the NFL, and he wouldn't have been able to do it without him. However, they exerted so much control over him. Now, the conservatorship ended last year, but there is still a court fight over the earnings because Sean and Leanne Toohey, along with their 2 children, allegedly got a huge sum from the Hollywood studios, and he did not get that same amount.
Really? So I do have to ask you, because we only got a few minutes left here. Did you have fun yesterday talking to all those Hollywood celebrities?
Who?
Well, Christopher Walken. And
I was like,
she goes, oh.
I'm like, I think I was impressive for knowing who he was from Sex and the City. Come on.
You were that was very, very impressive.
It's a pretty iconic episode because it's a pretty dirty one. It's pretty graphic. And
I was going to ask you that. So they literally show that on the show?
They don't. They show him like coming from down and raising his head.
Oh God!
And looking like a glazed donut. I'm just trying to be. I'm just trying to be.
I know.
Descriptive without being as totally disgusting. But it is. If anyone wants to watch it, it is season 5, episode 4, Sex in the City. Might be worth watching. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, it's so. I don't understand where they got the idea that there would be glazed donut. Where did that come from?
Tom, do I need to teach you about the birds and the bees?
But I mean,
give him the talk.
I don't know that I've ever been in a situation where anybody.
You're probably doing it wrong.
Tom.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, Tom.
All right, I'm shutting up. Just stay away from me, all of you.
Tom.
Get the hell away from me. Jesus.
Am I remembering right that his parents were deaf?
Yes.
Yeah, the whole family.
Yeah,
the whole
his whole
family.
Yeah.
He was the only one that could talk in a family. That's how we learned how to do so many different voices by.
Tom, season 5, episode 4.
So I'll be watching that, will I?
You'll be watching that for lessons, I guess.
He's coming back to do the show either like tomorrow or Friday. I know that. So we'll ask him about glazed donuts on that day. So
no, we yesterday. We got the whole story.
Okay, we don't need to bring that up again.
I think if he's coming back, you should watch the episode. I think you'd have a different perspective.
I still love the fact that when he actually sat down at a table with Christopher Walken and was told by Richard Belzer, you got to do your impression of Christopher Walken. He does it, and the real Christopher Walken goes, wow.
I think that's the exact reaction I would expect of Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like 100%. And if he had been enthusiastic, I actually think I might have been disappointed by the story.
No, you're right, because Christopher Walken doesn't seem to be that kind of guy.
Well, can you imagine how many times that happens to him?
Every day.
Every time he leaves the house.
Every 8-year-old kid probably can do a terrible Christopher Walken imitation.
I have heard from people that have been around Christopher Walken, everywhere he goes, he hears more cowbell.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's got to get old.
I want to see someone who can tap dance like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
If you can do that, I'll be really impressed.
Guy is a hell of an actor.
He's very talented.
Yep. I was lucky enough, and I never got to meet him, but I got to talk to him. I did the movie trailer for, what the hell was the name of that movie again? Christopher Walken.
In a World.
In a World. Yeah, that's right. I did that. They don't do movie trailers anymore, which is kind of sad.
No, they do usually a teaser, and then they do the actual trailer, which shows the entire movie.
Yeah,
that's the trailer now.
Just spoil everything.
They do a teaser that makes no sense, and they're like coming September 15th, and it's 15 seconds long, and then they do a 2.5-minute trailer, and you're like, okay, I don't need to go to the theater. I'll watch and wait until it streams.
Remember the last line of that movie trailer? Like father, like son, like hell. What do you think of that action?
I think it's your favorite trailer, Tom.
Well, it is only because of I loved everybody. And I thought it was a terrific movie, actually. It was really, really good. No question about it. But I was living in New York then. It was a different world.
You were living the fancy life in the city.
Except for I didn't hear the gunshots, but I certainly heard the police sirens when John Gotti had his buddy there killed right in front of Spark Steakhouse.
Oh.
And I got to hand it to Howard Stern, because the day that happened, he was doing afternoons, I think, WNBC or somebody like that. I think he was doing afternoons. I know he wasn't doing mornings. And it's 1980. When was that? 84, 83, something like that.
Something like that.
So it was back in that era. But Howard Stern called Spark Steakhouse on the air and said, I'd like to make a reservation for dinner tonight. Yes, sir. How many people? Oh, it'll be 2 people. Okay. Anything else? Anything special? He goes, yeah. Could you put us in the no shooting section? That was pretty cold, actually. But Howard, you got to give Howard credit for that. That was pretty good.
I'm surprised they were even open that night.
Oh my God. The dead bodies everywhere. But I was about 3 blocks away. I did not hear the shots, but I did hear the sirens. Oh, man.
The sirens are like the soundtrack of New York City. And if anyone who's lived in New York City, you learn to fall asleep to sirens and garbage trucks and people yelling.
One of the things I fall asleep to now, and I don't know why this is, but every night at about midnight, about 4 motorcycles go by the house, and it's the really loud motorcycles. What is that? Why are they so loud?
It's because if they're not loud, do you even know that they're on a motorcycle? Like, you got to be cool. It's like having the loud truck or loud car that drives by and revs the engine.
But motorcycles are loud, man. Holy God, are they loud. All right, Pally, enough talk about all that other crap.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, I love it. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't be so excited.
I'll be here at Belton.
Sounds good. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. I just love her because she's got such a good attitude about everything.
Yeah, no, she's a highlight.
There's no question about it.
Do you want to officially apologize to her mother-in-law for forcing her to listen to that yesterday?
Oh, her mother-in-law had to listen to that yesterday. That's right.
Yeah.
She tuned it. Where was she again?
I forget where, but
you're on vacation somewhere.
Bill was out visiting her, and Let's tune into Kristen's segment. Let's see how it did. And then we get Sex in the City.
Just glazed donuts.
The glazed donuts. But okay, before we close,
okay,
I have never heard of that. Glazed. I mean, what the hell? You got some malfunction with the bodily fluids?
Sounds like you might need to watch a little more TV, Tom.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to watch more television.
I was hoping AJ would take a crack at it. I obviously failed. So,
season 5, episode 4, I think she said.
3 minutes in. I don't know.
3 minutes in, that's it?
I have no idea.
But I just, okay. Well, it's just Hollywood overstatement. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we'll say it's a Hollywood exaggeration. I'm sure that there are some people out there in the world that this is a regular occurrence for, but I'd say maybe not the norm everyday expected.
Okay, good. That's all I needed to hear right there. Now I realize I'm living a normal life. There's no question. All right. Family shows up in a couple minutes. Thank you.